Good morning. Last time I last time I forgot to turn the I didn't I turned the good, it's working. All right, cool. Hey, good morning. Good morning from sunny St. Louis. It's bright as it's really bright out there. Let me move this over a little bit. Get less of the glare. Um, there we go. So, good morning. It's supposed to be a really nice day today. I'm pumped. So, for those of you that don't know, these are bugs right here. We filled that with soldier worms. This is wild bird seed. This is all sunflower seed. That's full of water. It's pretty. It's kind of dirty now. And then this little tiny thing here, and I'll point it over there if any action happens. But that right there is some cotton balls for some nesting. They're like nesting material. They've been going to that. And then this, if I can get it. This right here, you can kind of see it because it's face on. That right there is suet. That's some peanut suet that the missus got at the store yesterday. So that's what's going on there. I'm gonna be sorry, I got screwed over here. I'm gonna be looking over the my bird books, and then we're gonna get into some ornithology today. Some more ornithology. I'm loving this ornithology. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I don't care how many of you guys show up to it. I'm loving it. So, um, anyway, so far that's a star. That's a European starling right there out there on the. It just flew away. Yeah, just just in case you knew, I point them out for you. Yeah, great. So let me see here. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. There's no one watching right now, and whatever. The people that are going to watch it have seen it before, and they know all about that. So screw it. You know what? I flipped right to the page as luck would have it. Last time we talked about brown and cobber, and I'm flipping to the next page. But it happens to be a European starling, so you're in luck. Here we go. All right, sorry. All right, one of our most numerous songbirds mimics the songs of up to 20 bird species and imitates sounds, including the human voice. Wow, I wonder what they say. I'll look up what they say. I'll do that in a little bit. Not a little bit. If I remember, I got a terrible memory. I've been hitting the head a lot. Jaws are more powerful when opening than when closing, enabling the bird to pry open crevices to find insects. Often displaces woodpeckers, chickadees, and other cavity nesting birds. Large families greater large families gather with blackbirds in the fall. Not a native bird. 100 starlings were introduced to New York City in 1890 or 91 from Europe. The bill changes in the spring and the fall. And well, actually, I'll see if I can. When they get up to the feeders and stuff, I will get as close as I can to their bill. I have this reflective film out here also. So you're looking through reflective film right now. Um, s- uh, it's effectively a one-way mirror. So number one, they won't be able to see us, and number two, look at this guy right here. Number two, might be able to get them to pack at the. A couple of species are so territorial in the spring and while they're breeding and stuff that they will actually attack a reflection in the glass. So I'm hoping to get that. That'd be awesome. So anyway, that's another feeder we got. It's got bugs and wild bird seed in it. So that was a starling probably eating the bugs. I wasn't really paying attention. I was more paying attention to trying to get the camera over on him so you could see him. So yeah. So it's effectively one way mirror film, and so hopefully they can't see me. Now I only have it on the bottom pane. I don't have it on the top pane. So so if they're flying in, they're gonna see me reading this book, so but a lot of times they can't see me. So or they don't care. Like mockingbirds are really bold. They just don't care. All right, red blackbirds. Let me get my thing out here. Hang on, just bear with me. So if you're new here, what I do is at the beginning, we look out the window. I look out the window with you here, and whatever lands on these feeders, I'll find it in my field guide, and I'll read about it to you. And then if you want to have a if you want to talk in the chat, stick it down in the chat. I'll be happy to talk with you. Talk about birds. We can talk about anything I'll be happy to talk about anything I know anything about. And then if you know something about something I don't know anything about, I'll be happy to learn from you. So there he is. Okay, here we go. There's one right there. See him? Yeah, he's going back gangbusters after those bugs. And he has no idea I'm here. We'll probably see that little squirrel come over later and invade, but um, I'll scare him off. But try not to scare off the birds. So anyway, like I was saying, I so that's kind of how I start off each one, and then if we don't see anything interesting, then I'll start to just read through the field guide. Now, the field guide I'm using is this one right here. It's by Stan Tequila. It's the Birds of Missouri. This is the newest version. I don't know what year this is, but I had the old version I was reading out of, and then I can't find it, so I got a new one. So I picked this up. This is the second edition. I picked this up. Let's see, first edition 2001, second edition 2001, 2020. Sorry, 2001 and the year 2001 and 2021. So, I guess this is a pretty recent version, but it doesn't have Stan. Come on, man. If you listen, dude, and I love your books, bro. And I'm looking at your mug right now on the back page about the author, and that's some serious hardware you got, bro. But listen. I saw a red-shouldered hawk the other day in St. Louis, South St. Louis County. I saw it, and not only did I see it, I saw it get a fish, which hawks don't usually do, as we both know. So, but you don't have a red-shouldered hawk in this book, dude. You got red-tailed, you got sharp-shinned, you probably got Coopers on the preceding page here, and there it is, Coopers. But you don't have a red-shouldered hawk, and I saw one. So, and I'm here. So please add it to the third edition. I think you might have seen me on that one. I got the sun beating right down on my face right now. So, anyway, note to the author. I love your book, though. High respect, with all due respect, and more. All right. Hey, you want to hear about it's out now here? See that it's not even in this book now. Some of these things like here's a yellow-headed blackbird. I know nothing. I've never seen one of these. I know nothing about this one, but evidently that's just that's his migration kind of pattern right there. That's a picture of the guilty party, Your Honor. Let's read about that. Found across marshes, wetlands, and lakes. Yeah, I don't ever live anywhere near that. Nests in deep water, unlike its cousin, the red-winged blackbird, which prefers shallow water. Usually heard before seen, gives a raspy, low, metallic-sounding call. The male is the only large blackbird with a bright yellow head. He gives an impressive mating display, flying with his head drooped and feet and tail pointing down while steadily beating his wings. Oh, that must look really cool. Young keep low and out of sight for up to 3 weeks before they start to fly. Migrates in large flocks of as many as 200 birds, often with red-winged blackbirds and brown-headed cowbirds. Flocks of mainly males return in early April. Females return later. Most colonies consist of 20 to 100 nests. That's cool. And I guess they so it said deeper water. So, but I wonder what they. I guess cattail will. I guess it's just a relative effect. Cattail will. I guess they because there it is right there on the picture of a cat or picture of the bird right there on a cattail. So, cattail must just have a range of depths that they'll grow at, and these will tend to. I wonder how they get along with the red-winged blackbirds and the cowbirds in terms of foraging. That's curious. That's got me curious. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can find this mating display. See if I can find this. Yellow-headed blackbird mating display. See if I can find this. It has some. Maybe this will have it. It's more of a. It's more golden than a golden face. Looks like, appears to be quite a bit bigger too. And it doesn't have that distinctive black cap. This guy I'm looking at only has stills of this bird. Yeah, no, let's see here. That does not appear to be. Well, we'll just have to take his word for it because I'm not going to sit here and make you wait. Oh, there's someone else has some at their feeder. Oh, those lucky bastards. Backyard bird lovers. I'm looking at you on where we're on Facebook. Ugh, I hate Facebook, but anyway, backyard bird lovers. Deborah Gertz. I love your video, baby. Love it, Deborah. Love it. All right. Here, hold on a sec. Here a sec. Watch. This is their red winged blackbird at her feeder. Nice video, Deborah. Look at that. Look at that creature. Anyway, let's look at my feeders. So we're not gonna get those around here. She must live near a lake or a pond or something like that. That's cool, man. That's awesome. Thanks for your video, Deborah. Thanks for letting me look too. Whatever. So here we go. Here's another starling right here. Sneak up on him. So we got 5 pounds of soldier worms for $35. You can get a bag of them, a 1 pound bag of them for about $9. Here they come for about $9. So just saying, if you want to bring a different kind of, a different group, a different kind of bird to your feeder, you get, you get, if you want to get finches, you get the sunflower seeds. If you want to get just a smattering of all the herbivorous seed eating birds, then you go with the wild bird seed. But if you want to get some mockingbirds, blue jays, stuff like that, blue jays love peanuts. So if you want to get some blue jays, if you have blue jays, you want to attract them, get some peanuts. So just saying. Cool. All right, here we are. So yeah, that was the yellow-headed blackbird. Talked about grackle already yesterday. Coots waterfowl we're not going to be seeing around here. Great-tailed grackle, see those all the time. It's just like a common grackle. They got a big boat tail. Looks like a canoe. Sorry, folks. I'm setting up I'm resetting up so I can look down and see what's going on, and then look up and read this. Great-tailed grackle. Oh, here we go. Here's the great-tailed grackle. That's what that looks like right there. We got those all over here. Oh, was that the cardinal? Was that her? I think it might have been her. I wasn't looking. I was trying to do this for you, but we had both. Oh, there, and he is gorgeous. He's absolutely gorgeous, magnificent. All right, great-tailed grackle. Here's the notes. This is our largest grackle. It is once considered a subspecies of the boat-tailed grackle, which I call it big boat tail. It doesn't have boat-tailed. Sorry, it was once considered a subspecies of the boat-tailed grackle, which occurs along the east coast in Florida. A colony nester, males do not participate in nest building. incubation or raising young. Males rarely fight. Females squabble over nest sites and materials. Funny seeing a birds have a cat fight. Sorry. Several females mate with one male. Yikes! Well, isn't that something? That's wow. Okay, well, we got a term for that, but I'm not going to say anything about it. The species is expanding northward, moving into northern states. Western populations tend to be larger than eastern. Song varies from population to population. Cool. I guess they only get them over in the western half of my state. So Kansas City gets the great-tailed grackle. I guess when I see them, I guess I'm seeing a boat-tailed grackle. They're very similar. I thought there was one for a second. But I'm not. I see them around here. Maybe I do see a great-tailed grackle because it's. I don't know. It's too close. That's whatever. Great-tailed. Okay. Oh, you want to hear about the crow? Here's a crow. Everybody knows what a crow looks like. I'm not going to show you a picture. Everybody knows what a crow looks like. Caledonian crows is a Big Mama's favorite. Oh, that's a smart. She has a smart bird. Yeah, but ours is no slouch either. One of the most recognizable birds in Missouri, found in most habitats, imitates other birds and human voices. One of the smartest of all birds and very social, often entertaining itself by provoking chases with other birds. Yeah, yeah. You see them; they're great. They're playing stuff. Other birds might not know they're playing. Eats roadkill, but is rarely hit by vehicles. Can live as long as 20 years. Often reuses its nest every year if it's not been taken over by a great horned owl. Well, I guess that would put the kibosh on the nesting. Or if you move in and there's a big fat owl there. Who is it? Sorry. I'll go see myself up. Unmated birds known as helpers. Oh, look at you, Mr. Helper. Help to raise the young. Extended families roost together at night, dispersing daily to hunt. Cannot soar on thermals. Someone's walking up to my. Oh, I don't know. I guess that must be I guess that's a delivery driver. Okay, I wasn't. I don't. Okay, bye, bye, lady. I think it was a lady. Unmated. Okay, so that freaked me out a little bit. I'm like, who the hell? So anyway, because it's too early. Yep, there's Amazon going. You got some stuff. Okay, so all right, sorry about that. It's really early for. Oh, I know what it is. Jelly Bean. If you're watching, that's Big Mama's. That's kind of my pet name for Big Mama, Jelly Bean. So now you know because her name's Angela. So everybody calls Angela's Angie. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go with the second syllable, gel, and we call her. I first call her Jelly, and then yes, Jelly, and then I call her. Now I call her Jelly Bean. So just don't tell her. But that's okay. So I just said it anyway. The thing came. So be happy. In case you're watching, you're not. You're working. Okay. So cannot soar on thermals. Flaps constantly and glides downward. Okay. So cannot soar on thermals. As we discussed yesterday, why is that? Why would that be? Well, one of the reasons would be its wing loading would be too much, wouldn't it? Okay. You'd have to have the right wing loading in the right places to be able to catch thermals. We probably don't even. I need to figure. You need to know what a thermal is. So, birds are amazing. So, I don't know. I can't remember if they can see it or if they feel it somehow, or if it's a combination of both. But like turkey vultures, like we have around here, and condors, like you have out west. I don't know what you got out east. Probably a bunch of seabirds. But anyway, they'll catch these things called thermals. And what happens is the sun will heat up the ground in certain areas, and it's you see this especially over roadways. Okay, so the sun will beat down the asphalt will heat up the air directly over. I mean, if it's still day anyway, but it'll heat up the air above it, in addition to the radiative heat that comes off the sun in the first place. So and the bird will catch that hot air as it rises up, and all it has to do is just spread its wings out. And I don't know if I can't remember if they lock them up. They can lock them out there now. I bet you some can. But they just spread their wings out and they just catch that thermal and they ride that, and it's awesome. So, but crows, poor bastards, can't. Sorry, crows. They flap constantly and glide downwards. They gather in huge communal flocks of up to 10,000 birds in a winter. And of course, a group of crows is called a what? That's right. You're saying it out loud, aren't you? You're saying it right now, aren't you? That's right. It's called a murder. A murder of crows. That's awesome. Crows have like crow court. They have like they hold grudges. Crows hold grudges. Crows hold grudges. That's so crazy. Uh they use tools, of course. I don't know if our American crows do or not. I bet you they do, though. I mean, we could look that up. So hey, if you like learning about the birds, subscribe to the channel if you would, if I've earned it. Of course. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I haven't yet. Maybe I will after you learn about what I was just talking about, the turkey vulture, which I had no idea was coming up next. Now, he uses these wings right here, drying. What is this? He uses these wings right here to catch those thermals. Okay. So now, vultures, I don't know if it'll say it in here, but vultures, now birds typically, and we'll probably get into it in this ornithology book, but birds typically don't smell. Okay. They don't really taste too well and they don't really smell too well. However, there are exceptions. One of those exceptions to smell is vultures. Also, you probably noticed, I'll show you again. You probably noticed that on a vulture, there's no feathers on its head, right? So let me get this out of the sun here. There's no feathers on its head, right? Totally bare. The reason that is because it has to keep itself clean when eating the nasty ass dead carcasses of other animals. And that's one of the ways that it keeps itself clean is it doesn't grow feathers there, and it can just dunk its head in something, and that all that nastiness is gone. So that's kind of how that works. So anyway, turkey vulture. Here we go. The naked head reduces the risk. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The naked head reduces the risk. I've never read this before, so it's all surprise to me too. The naked head reduces the risk of feather fouling, picking up diseases from contact with carcasses. It has a strong bill for tearing apart flesh. Unlike hawks and eagles, it has weak feet, more suited for walking than grasping. One of the few birds with a developed sense of smell. Okay, so Stan, thanks, buddy. You're going over everything. Thank you. Oh, mostly that's getting a lot in here. This little tiny paragraph too. Mostly mute, making only grunts and groans. Holds its wings in an upright V shape in flight. Teeters from wingtip to wingtip as it soars and hovers. Seen in trees with wings outstretched, sunning itself and drying after a rain. I've seen them down on ground level too. They're a lot bigger on the ground than you'd think. They're a lot bigger on the ground. They're a lot bigger on the ground. Excuse me. So, yeah, turkey vultures. Let's see. Oh, Johnny woodpeckers. We get these here. I see these. Well, I'm gonna. All right, there was a starling out there. Thought I was gonna jump down and get something. Guess not. So not that we're going to see any of these, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. There's a downy woodpecker. I see those over at the pond all the time. Those and hairy woodpeckers. Let's see here. Abundant and widespread where trees are present. This is perhaps the most common woodpecker in the U.S. Stiff tail feathers help it brace it like a tripod as it clings to a tree. Like other woodpeckers, it has a long, barbed tongue to pull insects from tiny places. Mates drum on branches or hollow logs to announce territory, which is rarely larger than 5 acres. Repeats a high pitched peak peak call. I don't. I, well, that's what it does. I'm not. I'm not gonna be doing the calls because I don't. I know I'm going to hear them. Um, a lot of times. I wouldn't even say most of the time. Um, but I'm not going to be trying to imitate them here for you. Nest cavity is wider at the bottom than at the top, and is lined with fallen wood chips. Male performs most of the brooding. During winter, during winter it will roost in a cavity. Doesn't breed in high elevations, but often moves there in winter for food. Undulates in flight. Yep. Yeah, we see that. I see that. I hear them and see them at the pond all the time. Them and hairy. Now the hairy woodpecker is difficult. Now here's the hairy. Okay, so here. Okay, so get this back over here. So tell me this wouldn't drive you mad trying to figure these two out. There's a hairy woodpecker. Okay, there's a downy woodpecker. Right, downy, hairy. Right. The difference between the two, I believe, if I remember, I might not have to see, but the hairy, I believe, has a longer beak. Yeah, it does. The hairy has a longer beak. You have to get right up on it too to see, but the hairy has a longer beak, and then it has um like a slightly different tail feather. Although don't don't quote me on that one, but I know it has a slightly bigger beak. Um, but otherwise, they look almost exactly the same. So the females too. They look like just they look at the first of all the females look like the males except they don't have that red patch on that's red yarmulke. It's kind of on the back of way back of the head. It's like it's the males have like this red yarmulke and the females don't. It's just black like a face strap all the way around, and then it's almost like it's like a beak strap holding their beak on their face, and then the Downies is just same thing, same exact thing, only smaller, only strapping on a smaller beak. Anyway, hairy woodpecker. Here it is. A common bird in wooded backyards announces its arrival with a sharp chirp before landing on feeders. Responsible for eating many destructive forest insects, uses its barbed tongue to extract insects from trees. Tiny bristle-like feathers at the base of the bill protect the nostrils from wood dust. Drums on hollow logs, branches, or stovepipes in spring to announce territory. Prefers to excavate nest cavities in live trees. Excavates a larger, more oval-shaped entrance than the round entrance hole of the downy woodpecker. Makes short flights from tree to tree. That's your hairy woodpecker. So I guess if you want to know, if you want to be sure, if you can't get close, you follow it home. I suppose. All right, redheaded woodpecker. I did a tank talk on the redheaded woodpecker. If you're interested in going to see that, I have a playlist of all the tank talks, and the redheaded woodpecker is in there. It's a it's I see those at the pond. I see all the downy, the hairy, and the redheaded. I see all over the pond. Oh, here. Oh, there's a goddamn beat. You just see him fly out. Oh shit! I'm losing my book. All right, redheaded woodpecker. There's a squirrel out there. I hope he saw it fly off. I'm just getting shit out of it. All right. There you go. That's a redheaded woodpecker. One of the few non-dimorphic woodpeckers. That means the males. Sorry, that means that the um, what Oh, they both look the same. That's but I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm looking at this inset. I'm like, what is that? And I'm accidentally covering up the little thing that says juvenile. I'm like, no, that's a female. It's definitely dimorphic, but that's a juvenile. So the males and the females look alike. That's non-dimorphic. Um, Di to morphic. Morphic is like appearance, like shape. Um, yeah, it's just like the appearance. Two appearances, but non-dimorphic is one appearance, one morph. All right, so sorry about that. One of the few non-dimorphic woodpeckers with males and females that look alike. Just keep reading, stupid. That's what I got. Because tequila, you got it covered, man. Stanley, you got it covered, dude. I need to just remember to just keep reading because chances are you got it covered. All right, with males and females that look alike. Bill is strong enough to excavate a nest cavity only in soft, dead trees. Prefers open woodlands or woodland edges with many dead or rotting branches. Nests later than its close relative, the red-bellied woodpecker, which use nest cavities just once briefly. It may use the same cavity for several years in a row. Often perches on top of dead snags, stores acorns and other nuts. Gives a shrill, hoarse churr call. Yeah. All right. Cool. Hey, awesome. Red-bellied woodpecker. We see those all the time. We see those out in the country here all the time. Here's what that looks like. Here's a red-bellied woodpecker. See those all the time, which also can be confused with northern flickers. I don't know if that's gonna. Is that gonna be next? Nope. Scissortail fledgling. Oh, we're gonna get to that later. That's a beautiful bird. We have those in Missouri. Yeah, of course, not anywhere near me. Excuse me. Okay, like shady woodlands, forest edges, and backyards, digs holes in rotten wood to find spiders, centipedes, and beetles. Hammers acorns and berries into crevices of trees for winter food, so it caches them. Returns to the same tree to excavate a new nest below that of the previous year. Oh, okay, that's cool. Sorry, I'm picking something out of my eye here. I got something in my eye. Sorry about that. Okay. Undulating flight with rapid wing beats gives a loud, queer call. Okay, so this is the one that sounds like. No, it's not. I want to say this is the one that kind of sounds like Woody Woodpecker, but I'm not. I'm not entirely sure about that. It might be the Downy. It's also they all kind of sound like they all woodpeckers all kind of sound the same, but never mind. I'm getting off on the thing, and I'm starting to not know what I'm talking about. They all you can always tell a woodpecker call. Name for the pale red tinge on its belly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that in a second. Often kicked out of the nest hole by European starlings because they're assholes. Expanding its range all over the country. All right. So would you? So it's given the name the red-bellied woodpecker for the pale red tinge on its belly. Now, would you name that for the pale red tinge on its belly? Is that what you'd name? Here, let me do this. Oh man, that's so. The sun is terrible here. All right, whatever. I hope you can see that. Um, yeah, I don't understand why this is named a red-bellied woodpecker because the red is not on its belly; it's on its face and neck and back of its head. So I don't know. It was kind of missed the mark. These guys missed the mark. Then again, they hit the mark 100% bullseye with oh yes, the TID episode. We're doing the TID episode. We're gonna do. I've done a lot of the research. I've done a lot of the. Hold on a second. I've done a lot of the research, and I've done so. Yeah, have you? I might even have like a skit or two. So I'm working on it. I've worked on it for a while last night. I worked on it for a while the night before that. I'm putting some things together. I cannot promise you that it's going to be good. It's going to be the best I can come up with what I got. So, excuse me. I'm very sorry. Okay. So, yeah. So, um, we're going to be talking about coal tits, great tits, bush tits, titmice. And then we're probably gonna even throw in a little bit of a little side of blue-footed boobies. So um, might even try to talk about it. No. Well, we might even. I don't know. There might even be a couple of special little surprises in there too. There might be. We don't know. We don't know. All right, I'm gonna mark this off at this one right here, and we'll get back to Mr. Tequila's bird book tomorrow, or next time I do this. I appreciate you guys stopping by. It is a really nice day today, and the fish are not going to catch themselves, so they kind of depend on me to do that. I'm gonna have a little break here and have a drink and might go to the bathroom. So I'll be back. Cool. Cool. All right. All right, cool. Y'all want to do some ornithology? Let's do some ornithology. Today we're going to start physiology and the environment. Oh, before I start, just if you're a fan of the ornithology, I know I'm not the best reader or orator. I'm not funny. I'm just a guy doing this thing. And I'm just, I love birds, and I'm trying to learn here, and I figured I'd invite you along if you'd like to learn too. So that's all it is, man. I don't claim to know everything. I would like to know, but and that's what I'm trying to do here. Just trying to kill a little bit of ignorance, man. So um, I don't know. Just thanks for if thanks for coming, and if this is something that you'd like more of, believe me, I'm going to be doing more of it. This is a big subject. So, um, I mean, here, listen to this. I mean, if you want to hear more about birds and um so subscribe if to my channel, to the Ick Boys, me and my boy, the little Ick, Liam, also call him Bugs. He's a good kid. um we're just it's just a nature channel. It's a father, I'm not his father, but it's a dad kid nature channel. Okay, we got physiology and the environment, feeding adaptations. Then we're going to move into behavior and communication. It's part 3. The brain and sensory apparatus, visual communication, vocalizations, learning, and the development of behavior. That's my favorite stuff. I love animal behavior. Love animal behavior. That's my bread and butter. Then we're going to move into behavior and the environment, seasonal efforts, migration, orientation, and navigation. That is fascinating. And social behavior. Then we're going to move on to reproduction and development. That'll be mating systems, reproduction, nests and incubation, young birds and their parents, brood parasites. That's fascinating as well, and cooperative breeders, and on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Okay, so if this is something that interests you, if you have a casual interest in birds, and you want to get more down into what makes them what they are, and how they've been so successful for at least 65 million years, 66 million years, and probably for several million years before that, then subscribe to the Ick Boys. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. Physiology and the environment. Here we go. The physiology of birds can be described in 3 words: power, endurance, and balance. Power and endurance derive from the maintenance of high constant body temperatures. Maintenance of core body temperatures within narrow limits is made possible by the excellent insulation of plumage and the balanced regulation of rates of heat loss. Temperature regulation demands energy and water, 2 resources that are often in short supply. In this chapter, we will consider the environmental physiology of birds, specifically their metabolism as it relates to endothermy, the maintenance of high body temperature by means of metabolic heat production, and to the power requirements of activity. Endothermy, although a vital adaptation, is energetically expensive and requires specialized physiology. Birds consume 20 to 30 times more energy than do similar sized reptiles. Supporting the demands of sustained aerobic metabolism are a high efficient respiratory sorry supporting the demands of sustained aerobic metabolism are a highly efficient respiratory system coupled to a powerful heart and a circulatory system. Water reserves essential for evaporative cooling and the excretion of electrolytes are easily depleted. Therefore, birds maintain a delicate physiological balance of the conflicted needs for temperature regulation, activity, and water economy. Other features of avian physiology, such as digestion, the senses, reproduction, and hormonal control of the annual cycle, are discussed in later chapters. But that'll be a scorcher. So, why do birds maintain high blood pressures? High, we keep wanting to say high blood pressures. That's not. That was a stupid book says. It's not the book that's stupid either. Believe me, it's me. Okay. Why do birds maintain high body temperatures? Blood pressure. I got blood pressure on the mind, I guess. Maybe I need to go. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I need to go get a sphygmomanometer out. Birds are fully active in the early morning cold, in midwinter, and in the high mountains. Yeah, you're not gonna see the high mountain. You're not gonna see the alpine iguana. You know what I mean? You're not gonna see Canadian gecko. You know what I mean? Like like or the Greenland gecko. He's not because they can't do that. I guess no. I guess technically they can, but you're just not gonna find that. And then we'll get into that when we talk about. Hey, guess what? We'll get the herpetology out later. And you know what? You know what? We are the ick boys. I will try to do an ichthyology thing. Of course, I got books out the waz. So we can do ichthyology while I got the camera looking at the school crew over there in their aquariums. Aquaria. It's really cool. If you haven't seen them, go out and look at my channel. And I got two. Actually, I'm about to add a third too within the second bridge. But I got two aquaria right next to each other with a little water bridge made out of clear PVC pipe, and they attach the two together, and the fish swim through it and everything, and they love it. And it's a 30-gallon tank next to a 20-gallon tank, so I got effectively a 50-gallon tank, and then I'm gonna add another 10-gallon tank next to that because Big Mama can't seem to stop getting fish. So, but she also picks up aquariums, so and all the accoutrements, whatever. So we're gonna settle that stuff up. It's gonna be at the House of Ick. If you're gonna do it, you should go big or go home. That's what I'm saying, right? Activity that is unconstrained by low ambient temperatures is one of the conspicuous advantages of endothermy. That's warm. That's warm. That's body temperature regulation. Endothermy. That's warm bloodedness. Nearly all birds, large and small, in the frigid Arctic and in the hottest deserts, keep their core body temperature at about 40 degrees C. Now, this whole thing is going to be in and if you watched yesterday, which I mean I don't know who knows, but I converted from C to F because I'm used to F. But you know what? I'm just gonna read this as is, and we're just gonna um just 32F is 0C and work it out from there. I think the what is it? F equals 3/5 C plus 32 or something like that, minus 32, something like that. And then the other way is just backwards. C equals five. C equals 5/3. No, C equals 3/5 F. I don't know if you're. I'm no good at mathematics, but anyway, I'm sorry. But anyway, the point is, I'm so sorry. Getting up with this. I'm so ADD sometimes. We're sticking with C. Okay, we're going with the metric system. Here we go. If the core body temperature rises above 46 C, most proteins in living cells are destroyed more rapidly than they are replaced, and changes in chemistry of the brain may cause death. But below that lethal limit, the rates of physiological processes increase with temperature. This is called the Q sub 10 effect. Is this what this? Let me see. Okay, okay. So kind of bird. Okay, so birds kind of. Here's the graphic of it right here. Birds kind of operate on a different kind of playing field than mammals do. So that's kind of the what this paragraph's talking about right here. This graphic right here. So I'll read the caption from the graphic. Birds and mammals regulate their body temperatures to be just below temperatures that destroy body proteins at lethal rates. Shown here are the body temperatures of many bird and mammal species and the rate of protein replacement as a function of body temperature. That would be the curved line. Okay, so let's see. I was never very good at graphs in college. I mean, I never really was. Um, Transmission speed of nerve impulses, for example, increases 1.8 times with every 10 degrees C increase in temperature. Oh, damn! That's wow! Really? That's really noticeable. Okay, the speed and strength of muscle fiber contractions triple with each 10-degree temperature jump. Again, everything everything's gonna be C. Everything's gonna be metric. Okay, we're sticking with sorry, we're outvoted. It's Americans. We're sticking with metric. Okay, so let's see here. High body temperatures therefore enhance intrinsic reflexes and powers, enabling birds to be extraordinarily active, fast moving creatures. More important than speed or strength is endurance. Amphibians and reptiles can escape or strike with lightning speed, but they are quickly exhausted. Birds fly for hours, days, even weeks. Increased aerobic metabolism and insulation were among the major changes that accompanied. Sorry, I got something in my eye. The evolution of reptiles into birds. These changes apparently made possible regulated high body temperatures and the enormous advantages of constant and dependable rates of muscle function. Right. Higher activity levels coupled with endurance opened a new range of ecological opportunities for birds. A bird's okay, so this is insulation, heat loss, and a bird's climate space, and I'm gonna show you this here in just a quick second. So this is we're going to be talking about this equation right here. Okay, so keep that one in mind. Insulation, heat loss, and the bird's climate space. A bird's thermal relations with its environment are central to its survival. Endothermy is part of a dynamic relationship between heat production inside the body and heat loss to the environment. Heat, a direct product of metabolism, is an inevitable result of the inefficiency of biochemical reactions that is predicted by the second law of thermodynamics. Alexa, what is the second law of thermodynamics?
The second law of thermodynamics states that in natural processes, the total entropy of a closed system and its surroundings always increases. This means energy transformations aren't 100% efficient. Some energy always becomes waste heat.
Okay, so yeah, so it's in there's also it's just the law of entropy. I always had a hard time with that one too. But the law of entropy says that things fall into disorder whenever chemical processes happen. That there's always the actual yield never equals the theoretical yield. Those are chemistry terms. Then how about that? The actual yield, what you actually get out, never equals what mathematically should bear out. Okay, there's always something wasted. You always lose something. That's that. Okay, um, so that's what is that said was the what accounts for um, endothermy. Okay, so rates of heat production or loss are expressed in watts or joules per hour. The average person sitting in a classroom, for example, produces heat at the same rate as a 100-watt lamp. The rate of heat loss from the body is proportional in complex ways to one, the difference between body temperature, or more exactly, surface temperature, TB, and the environmental temperature, TA, or TB minus TA. Sorry, T sub B minus T sub A. And two, okay, so one, the difference between the body temperature and the environmental temperature, okay, T sub B minus T sub A, okay, and two, the rate of heat transfer across the shell of surface layers. There's a whole bunch of starlings out there. The rate of metabolic heat production H must balance the rate of this loss, as in the equation. And I'm going to show the equation again as soon as these birds, they're real skittish. I don't want to scare them away. There you go. I don't want to scare them away prematurely. So, well, basically the equation says metabolic heat production H equals the um, body temperature, the surface body temperature, T sub B minus the environmental temperature. So that number, all that over I, which is the insulation coefficient, and then that is the resistance to heat flow. All right. So here, I'm just going to see if this is the equation right here. Right there. So that's what we're talking about. So H is the metabolic heat production, and then I is this insulation coefficient. Okay. And then TB is the body temperature. TA is the ambient temperature, environment temperature. Okay. And they're talking about this in the sense of, well, they'll talk about it later. We'll get there. Okay. So that whole thing where I is the insulation coefficient, resistance to heat flow. In special situations, in special situations, for example, in a nest hole or a burrow free of wind in which wall temperature equals air temperature. Oh, hang on a sec. Yeah, I don't know why that just did that. My phone just went cattywampus. Okay, so sorry, I'm looking up, looking down, up, down, up, down. In special situations, for example, okay, I already did that. For example, in a nest hole or a burrow free of wind in which wall temperature equals air temperature, mean environmental temperature can equal ambient air temperature, but in more complex environments in which the sun shines and the wind blows, the true environmental temperature is a complex function of the intensity of radiation and convection. Convection is the wind blowing. Standard operative temperatures make allowances for these variables. Okay, so what that's saying is, what's the old? Any physicists in the room? You guys have this. You talk about the wind resistance of a duck, and it has to be a spherical duck, right? That's the whole joke, right? So this is the fierce spherical duck in the room right here. This only works in like a totally ideal situation. Does this simple equation work? I'm parched. Hang on. So something like that. It's in order to find the wind resistance of a duck or something. Yeah, they have to be spherical ducks. Insulation is one of the most important variables affecting the rate of heat loss, and bird feather coats are among the best natural lightweight insulations. The metabolism of frizzled chickens, here, it has a picture of it in here. This is a frizzled chicken. Here, look at this. That's a frizzled chicken right there. Yeah. The metabolism of frizzled chickens, whose abnormal feathers provide little insulation, is twice that of normal chickens at 17C. Contour feathers in the plumage contribute to a bird's insulation, but the true down feathers underneath the contour feathers are of primary importance. Thus, Arctic finches have dense down, and tropical finches do not. Insulation increases with the amount of plumage. Some birds enhance their insulation during cold seasons by molting into fresh, thick plumage. House sparrows, like, oh, hey, there we go. This is house sparrows like we see out here. Increased plumage weight 70%. Wow, really? Geez. Okay. House sparrows increase plumage weight 70% from 0.9 grams per bird in August to 1.5 grams in September after molting into fresh plumage. Seasonal adjustments in insulation are not to be expected in tropical birds or in migratory species that escape major seasonal changes in environmental temperatures. The blackcap, which winters in chilly Europe, has 21% more plumage and better insulation than the similar sized garden warbler, which winters in balmy North Africa. Birds can adjust the position of their feathers to enhance either heat loss or heat conservation. Fluffing the feathers in response to cold creates more air pockets and increases the insulation value of the plumage. A ring-necked dove, for example, continuously adjusts the position of its feathers in relation to air temperature. However, extreme elevation of the feathers exposes the bare apterial skin and enhances heat loss by convection. Okay, I had to look up this word apterial. I'm like, I asked Alexa, and she kept thinking I was saying bacterial, which is not right. So apterial means um, skin that is not part of an or not attached to an appendage. Okay. So but then I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Apterial. Apaterial. That means no wing, without a wing. Okay. You break that down, cut the A, paterial. That means A means without, paterial wing. So, okay. So bare, no wing skin. There's a starling up there right now. He's always perching at the top of the thing, top of the shepherd's hook. Anyway, so anyway, I had to look it up, and even Google had a hard time. So anyway, nice word there, Gil. Real nice word. I like that one. I'll see if I can use that one. Like I like to use weird words in weird contexts. I don't know why. Dark pigmentation aids temperature regulation by absorbing the energy-rich short wavelengths of the solar spectrum. When rewarming from mild overnight hypothermia, you'd like to have that happen on a nightly basis. Mild overnight hypothermia. The greater roadrunner. Oh, I see those all the time on Flagstaff. The greater roadrunner erects its scapular feathers. That's the one on the shoulders, and orients its body so that the morning sun shines on strips of black pigmented skin on its dorsal apotheria. So I guess that'd be the area between. So dorsal would be its back, and apotheria would be the non-wing parts between. I guess between the shoulder blades. That would be my guess. Okay. Metabolism and heat production of gray plumage zebra finches decreases as a result of exposure to strong radiant energy, but that of white plumaged finches does not. Light colored plumage reflects rather than absorbs more of the impinging radiant energy than does dark plumage, but the net thermal effect is influenced by the wind. Yeah, we could, yeah, dude, yeah, go out on a hot day or on a sunny day, and it doesn't matter if that wind's blowing, you can still freeze your buns off. So, wind increases the rate of heat loss. Duh. TB is greater than TA. Yeah. And therefore, sorry, T sub B is greater than T sub A. And therefore, a bird's metabolic requirements. A snowy owl's metabolic rate is directly proportional to the square root of wind velocity. The thick plumage of this species provides excellent insulation, but the rate of heat loss triples in winds of only 27 kilometers per hour, compared with the rate in still air. Small birds are particularly vulnerable to convective heat loss because they have more surface area relative to mass than do large birds. Okay, there's another ratio for you. Surface area to mass ratio. So smaller the bird is, it's I guess you equate that to volume, I guess too. You could just like if everything was made of the same like you know um visceral jelly. Um, anyway, you blend it all up. Yeah, volume will be the same as long as everything's got the same density, which I don't see why it wouldn't. Averagely speaking, is that a thing? I don't know. The cooling effects of wind are most pronounced on black feathers, which concentrates solar heat near the surface of the plumage and can increase the amount of heat a bird's body absorbs from the environment if there is no breeze. A light breeze, however, removes the accumulated surface heat and reduces further penetration of the radiant heat. The black plumage of desert ravens increases convective heat loss, providing the same effect as the black robes and tents of Saharan desert tribes. Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna take a little break here. This is a nice big chapter. Oh, we're gonna talk about torpor too later on. We're not gonna get to it today, but we're gonna get to it later. That's what happens to birds when it gets really cold and they don't migrate. This is a nice big fat long chapter. I love this. But we're gonna have to cut this up into several parts. And what time is it right now? It's 10 to 10. So give me like 5 minutes. Give me like 5 minutes or something. And we get a drink and I need to get up and stretch my hip out. Then I'll come back and I'll continue with basal metabolism. That would be metabolism at rest. And then get some more into temperature regulation and we might just stick. I don't know. I'm gonna go as far as I can, but I need to get out of here. So, um, I'll be right back. All right, thank you for bearing with me. Appreciate that. Um, turns out I had to go to the bathroom. So thanks. Easy. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, it's a really nice day out. And those fish are not going to catch themselves. So I'm gonna read basal metabolism, and it's a very short section here. So, but we went through a lot of stuff here. Um, now I'll get through it. We did a lot of we did a lot of field guide stuff. So I'm just gonna go until but I gotta pick up the old lady from work, and that just kind of puts a constraint on time today, and other things will take time too. So it's just I got. But this is a long chapter. There's a lot of meat in this, so we'll pick it up. We'll pick it back up. Just gonna have to stop here pretty soon. Anyway, basal metabolism. Cellular metabolism never shuts down completely. Even resting birds use energy. Carefully controlled measurements of the. Let me make sure that I'm. Hold on a second. Let me make sure that I'm coming in here. There we go. Cool. All right. I went. Yeah, it was yesterday, or the day before. I don't remember which. I went like the entire thing. It didn't have the mic on, or I had the mute button on the phone or whatever that thing is over there. Anyway, so sorry. Even resting birds use energy. Carefully controlled measurements of the minimal metabolic requirements of resting birds fasting at non-stressful that is thermoneutral temperatures give estimates of standard or basal metabolism. So you get your baseline. That's like the the baseline metabolism. All birds have high basal metabolic rates, and passerine birds, like we're looking at the window here, not seeing, have the highest rates of any group of vertebrate animals. Basic metabolic rates of passerine birds average 50 to 60% higher than those of non-passerines of the same body size. The reasons for the elevated metabolism of birds in general and of passerines in particular remain uncertain. Basal metabolism relates directly to mass, although not in a one-to-one relationship. Large birds require less oxygen per gram of mass than do small birds. Although a bustard may be 100 times larger than a small falcon, it requires only 30 times as much oxygen per hour. Okay, not 100 times more, it's 30 times more. Okay, the slope of this fundamental physiological relationship is predictably 0.72 to 0.73 for dif- different sized birds. I don't know why you have it. For different sized birds, as well as for different sized mammals. So here's a graph for that. Right. So there's your birds at the top, mammals. Sorry, birds. Top right, left. I mean, God, I'm all the way off. Birds, mammals. Okay. Anyway, that's that. So oh no, I'm sorry, not mammals. This is passerines versus non-passerines. So I'm sorry about that. I'm so dumb. All right, so yeah, you're probably like, what? Passerines versus non-passerines. Okay, that's that. Okay, so I think that just means that. Let's see. No. So one. Okay, no, I see. All right. Never mind. All right. Where am I at here? The surface area from which heat. So my phone's going on cattywampus now too. Okay, sorry about that. All right. The surface area from which heat is lost partly explains the relationship between metabolism and mass. The surface area of a sphere increases as the 0.67 power of mass in accord with the basic 2/3 ratio of a two-dimensional area to a contain three-dimensional volume. What the fuck? What are you saying, dude? Okay, a large bird. Okay, let me just. I'm gonna try and fumble through that one more time. Okay, The surface area from which heat is lost partly explains the relationship between metabolism and mass. The surface area of a sphere increases as the 0.67 power of mass in accord with the basic two-thirds ratio of a two-dimensional area to a contained three-dimensional volume. I still don't get what the hell you just said. Somebody said I have to explain that to me. A large bird cannot lose heat as fast as a small bird because it has less surface area per gram of heat generating tissue. That I do get. Okay. If an ostrich's tissues produced heat at the same rate as a sparrow's tissues, the ostrich would soon reach boiling temperatures internally because it could not dissipate heat from its body surfaces fast enough. Right. um let's see. So okay, so yeah, all right. So I don't know. I don't know this basic two-thirds ratio of a two-dimensional area to a contained three-dimensional volume, but it does make sense that if a if a if a if a deer, say, had the same metabolism as a mouse, say, that deer would explode. Right. There's a house sparrow out there. It's peeking out from behind the bird feeder there. Am I even live right now? Yeah, of course I am. So that's the surface area to volume ratio that I'm always talking about. It's just this guy said it in a really weird way that I did not get until he had to expound on it. So sometimes I swear to God, this guy's like he just says things to just be like, look how smart I am. Like, yeah, no, we get it, dude. You wrote a book. You wrote the book. Just talk to me like I'm five sometimes. All right. Where am I at? Yet the simple 0.67 exponent to surface to volume relationships does not fully explain the 0.72 exponent of the relationship of metabolism to mass. Perhaps the difference relates to heat loss from other surface areas, such as those on the respiratory tract. Okay. The precise relationship of metabolism to mass is not yet understood. All right. So I am going to leave you there. Next time, we're going to pick up on temperature regulation because that's a big, fat subject. That's a big, fat subject. So, um, it's going to take a little, and then we're going to get into hypothermia and torpor, which is just it's bird hibernation. So, okay, so yeah, awesome. All right, so thanks for if anybody whoever comes by and watches it, thanks for coming by, and subscribe to the channel if you want to pick up more ornithology with me, and yeah. So I don't know, I'm gonna go out and try and catch some fish. There's a few trout left in that pond. I'm gonna go try and catch a couple of them. We'll see.